So let's go through the training on the new scanner for Acumed inventory.
Okay. All right. So yes, this is a new scanner. It's basically an iPhone with a attachment for scanning.
Okay.
Um, it when you get your packet, it'll be in a handy dandy little container with a box
Okay.
and the special cord which you had
Right.
that I didn't know.
Which is a USB-C interface at the bottom there that powers the scanner and also charges the iPhone. For those of you who are wondering, it's not your typical iPhone charger. It's the Samsung chargers.
Yeah. Yes. And everything I tried to label everything Acumed because when you're looking through your backpack, everything looks
right
the same. So everything should be labeled. And
okay.
We can.
So yeah, you'll have an Acumed label there, and in the bag you will have the scanner and the charging apparatus.
Yes. Okay. And then we'll have a external user guide, just a couple sheet printout of basically what we're going to go through today, and a barcode scanner book. Basically, we use this. We tried to get rid of it, but
can't get rid of it.
Phase two. Phase two. Basically, this is like for backstock or things that are in little cubbies that are not
like loose inventory.
Loose inventory.
That doesn't have a
out of packaging.
Yeah, out of packaging. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So we're gonna power on.
So once we're in, does it automatic if you're in, if like I've loaded to this screen, but well, shoot, that's the this is just the iPhone screen on the app, but it should load to the Acumed inventory app, right?
Yes.
So which was
yes, so that's M inventory.
So
is the
what we're looking at is right there.
Can you see that with the glare?
Yeah, I know there's a glare there. All right, so that's what should be what should load up. Yes. Passcode is 0000.
4 zeros. Yes. So one step back for that.
Yeah.
If you go to that first screen,
yeah.
So you see the username and the password. Did you see that it was PAO2?
Oh yeah. Let me go back to cancel and then wait. So unlock. Wait. 0000. Unlock.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't go completely out. So here's
the
front screen.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
Right.
Basically, this is what we do at Acumen internally. So I'm programming this portion of it to be Mosher's inventory or ABC company. So this is your plant ID number. Never touch this. Never change this portion of it.
So if you see this screen, do not edit anything on this screen. This is the Acumed inventory screen that should be pre-programmed from Acumed.
Yes. Basically, that's allowing whatever data that you scan and audit from, it'll be uploaded to Mosher's inventory, so I can
will the app come into that screen right away, or will it automatically jump into like this page here?
This should be the first screen that comes up, and then when you hit login,
so it does. When you hit login, it goes to an authenticating, and then starts pulling up. There we go. Phone's got and then you go to your consignment audit.
Yes.
All right.
This one won't show the automatic setup prompts because I've been using it all week. But the first thing that we like to do is go to the gear
icon, which is right here in the corner.
Yes. So basically, that's where we want to put in our username, just like the old scanner, who's doing the work.
Okay.
Each scanner will be labeled with Acumed and the scanner number. So the scanner number should be in there. I try to program it before I send it out. But if you add to that and put your name, your username on it.
So when a rep does a scanning on this, should they leave it as scanner 19 always and then put in their name?
Yeah.
Or can they do scanner 19 and then the name of their set?
No, the name of set comes later.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is just the who does the scanning for that.
I see. So when you first start up and you come into this, you go into that settings, leave scanner 19 in and punch in your name so we know exactly who is doing
Yeah.
the scanning.
If I have a question on an Aculock 2 set that scanner 20 Michelle counted, I know that it's Michelle.
Gotcha. So if I was to take this, do some scanning with it, I take this bag and all this stuff, throw it in my backpack, go to a case, cover a case, and then at that case I bump into my buddy sales rep and hand it off to him because he needs to go scan something. He can't come and he shouldn't pull that out and just start scanning. He should go into gear and change his name.
That would be easier for you and for me
because
too.
then we know.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Matt that scanned that; it was Kevin that scanned it.
Correct.
But or Kevin could do a whole scan and then but it would be under Matt's name, and then next thing you know, we're asking Matt, why we show that you scanned this,
and Matt's like, I didn't do that.
Exactly. So that helps everybody, especially down the road when we're hunting for sets, know where and who
to ask,
who to talk to.
Yes. The other thing about the setting screen, you'll see the scan with peripheral. It always defaults to linear, and linear is basically the scanner sled.
Okay.
So
this
it
giant
never
monster.
changes.
So don't touch that. Don't leave that. Don't leave that. Change that setting.
Yes.
All right. So then you would save setting at the bottom.
Yes.
And then that takes you back to the consignment audit page.
Yes. One more thing before we start, scanning and everything is, if you have a good strong Wi-Fi, like if you're counting in the office, you can leave it on Wi-Fi, and everything you do will be automatically posted and synced to Acumed Corporate.
Okay.
If you are in a dungeon and basement in a facility and spotty Wi-Fi, I would work in offline mode.
Okay.
It just makes things go faster and it doesn't spin and get all caught up.
That's a good tip.
So
So if you have Wi-Fi, connect to it if it's good. If it's not that good and you're in a bad situation, go offline.
Offline
and
mode.
Then you like an iPhone, you just switch it back on later.
Yeah, and we will go through that in a second.
Okay.
And everything is kind of outlined here, but so if you go to consignment audit, we have 3 modules. We have set-based audit, loose inventory sterile, and loose inventory non-sterile.
Okay.
So those are the 3 selections that you can pick from.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not focusing, but go ahead.
Okay, so if you hit set-based audit,
which is at the top.
Yep. It will. Oh, did I hit set-based audit? Okay.
So we have a plant, location, set, geolocation, comments.
Yeah. So the location is where you would put 103, 145 Cleveland Hospital.
Okay.
That would be the
Do
location.
they have to put in the account number?
I would love that.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I say that is because everybody calls something different.
Right.
Like, if Cleveland Hospital that's what Acumed will say in the system.
Right.
But if you guys call it Cleve H or the street name or something.
Perfect example would be a Grant. Let's see. There's OSU Gowdy, and then it's also Grant Maine, and then Grant Bone and Joint.
Yeah.
Same place. Two different names. Two different names, same place though. So Grant Bone and Joint and Grant South, same place. So we've changed that with Acumed so that Grant South Bone and Joint is labeled in the name, so that way however it's referenced, we figure it out.
Okay.
But if you can get the number on there, that'd be great.
Yeah, that just clarifies for sure. Like this is which location you're talking about, and I know that there's also some master accounts that have the same account number with multiple different facilities that rolls up to that.
Right.
So any information you can provide in the location, it helps.
Right.
With the audit and
that is not
for future.
So yeah. All right. All right.
Okay.
For some reason I can't get it to focus, but that's all right. We'll probably because it's set to face detection or something. So
okay. So if we're in the set base, so if you hit the drop down arrow for the sets, it'll pull up all the sets that Mosher has. This is not Mosher, but every set that you should have in your inventory. So for example, if you are counting a pelvic set,
right,
and you don't see the pelvic option, that means that we don't show that you have a pelvic set in your
Okay.
inventory.
Okay.
Just as an FYI.
That's pretty cool though that you can pull through
Yes.
all those systems.
Yes. And then the last field in the comments field
Mhm.
is where you would put Mosher set 102, you
Okay.
know, or, you know, how,
I
probably
see.
your set
Yeah.
name because
So yeah, pick your set, put in your location name. If you have the account number, great. Pick your set from the scroll down, and then in the comments, put in the set number. So that way we know exactly what we're talking about.
yes.
And then later on, when we say, did you scan set 8? You know, there'll be no question.
Yes.
So,
The one little thing that has popped up that we're trying to troubleshoot right now is sometimes a comment that you put in like 5 sets ago will end up sticking. So like this is something that I did earlier this week.
but it's
So
sticky.
I just
You have to delete it.
yes.
So if there's an old comment from a previous scan that you see in this field here, you need to take it off. So you know, just clear that out and move forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So if you want to try and pick a set, I can
All right. Let's okay.
drop down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just noticed that when I touched the set thing here, I could actually manually type in a set, or I could hit the drop down. So you can manually type in one, which is probably not recommended. Or you can hit the drop down and then toggle through the set and pick, like, let's say we want an Aculock 2 hexalobe, and we'll hit done. Retrieving data. Of course, this is as labeled as St. Clair's, so I didn't clear that out. I can change that still?
Yep.
Post. Okay, so great. We'll call this test Dan set. All right, return.
Yep.
Okay.
So it'll drop you down, and basically it drops you down and pulls up a bill of material, Acumed standard set for whatever we say is in the Aculock hexalobe set.
Okay.
And then the way that it's we try to line it up is it should just flow.
Okay.
So
Through the system.
I know before, like if you're using count sheets, a lot of it was bouncing around
Right.
and everything. This way, everything it's by platter, by screw caddy, and
It's
it should
intuitive.
be
Okay.
in order.
So if you're looking at a tray, you know what I'm seeing here is a VDR plate, narrow left, narrow long left, plate standard left, standard long, and then wide left. And that would be the silver plate platter just kind of working its way across as the natural order of way it's in the system.
Yes. Yes.
So how do I do that? Do I just click on material, click one, and then,
You would hit on quantity,
So I
the
did-
quantity field,
okay,
and then one next.
one next, and then it drops. Okay, so let's demonstrate that real quick. And then so you would go into here, click your quantity, type in one, quantity 1, and then hit next up here, and that's just going to toggle you to the next field. 1 next, and you can get going pretty quick.
Yes.
So you can start logging really fast.
And I want to say a comment about going really fast. Yes, it does, but it's also very sensitive. So you can easily put in
Double
like
tap or
80.
put in 11
instead of 1.
Yeah. So just be mindful of what you're logging.
Yes.
And then yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. So let's say we've logged a set, then we just hit, what do we hit, done?
Yeah. So before we
Okay.
do that, if for some reason Mosher has something else in there that
Needs to be added. Yeah.
yes, there's an add button on the upper right hand corner.
Okay, so a
plus
little plus sign up here. Hit that, and that brings you up to the it looks like it's at the very bottom of the whole list.
It drops you down and gives you another field to.
Okay, and then you can type that in manually, or you can barcode scan, right?
Yeah, if you want to look up the barcode scanner
Right.
book and look it up.
So it'll allow you to manually. If you didn't have this book though, you can manually punch it in.
Yes.
The only problem is that would take a little while, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So if you preferably if you have a scanner, it's probably good to have a barcode book with you just to speed the process up if you're doing extra scans. Otherwise, it's probably fine to just, punch it in. It's just going to take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's say I'm done. Is there anything more that I could, what's this search option at the top here? Can I search for something in the
If you,
in
I
the
don't
list?
usually use that, but I think if you start typing in,
Let's see, TR.
you
Let's
want to
see.
find your place.
Yeah,
you know.
CO. We'll do a dash. Let's see if that works. All right. Okay, so yeah, if you needed to just, let's say you had a screw caddy and it was, let's say, a perfect example is Oasis Hospital. They have a couple of extra screw caddies in their Aculock 1, but you want to log the Aculock 1 and then you just want to log a screw caddy as maybe separate. You could do that, or instead of combining all your Aculock, all those screws into one Aculock 1 account, so then you could just type in CO up in the top search and it brings you right up to where your CO stuff starts, and then you can just start working through the list. So that's a nice little trick if you needed to just log some screws out of a screw caddy.
Yeah. So when you're done.
Mm-hmm. Cancel out of the search.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you're done, and you can hit post.
Yeah, I don't have anything in this list.
Yeah.
So.
So it'll.
Please enter a location name. I didn't put in a
up here.
Oh, okay. Hang on a second.
the
Yeah,
top
let
one.
me change this. I fat fingered it. Mosher test, we'll call that. All right, and then I'll just put in one plate just for the heck of it, so we have something to count in this. So then I'd hit post, right? So even if it doesn't allow, even if you forget to put in the location name, or it will stop you from allowing to post the product. What about comments?
Comments is optional.
Optional. So you can do a location name, but you can leave the comments empty, and then we just think that you have a bunch of inventory piled up at a place and it's not even in a set.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. As much information that you can put into it is always helpful in the longer run.
More is better.
Like this week, I did a lot of sets. Like the comments would be Lem's tray with the calc platter in it. Lem's tray with a fluffy midfoot.
In our case, we would tag it, and then if we had a set number with it, we could identify that as well.
Yeah.
So that would be great. So then we would hit post. There's a green post at the bottom here once you've done your entry. Are you sure you want to post this record? Are we sure?
Yes.
All right, we hit yes. Documents have been submitted for offline postings.
Yes. So that is because, so you'll see this message if you're not on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
If you are on Wi-Fi, it'll say synced successfully or something like that.
So just for those who are maybe not familiar with iPhones or just connecting, that you would just connect this to Wi-Fi just like you would do any other iPhone. Go into the general settings, find the Wi-Fi and log in, right? Okay. So that's great. So that's ready to go.
So if we want to look and you go to this icon here.
Okay, next to consignment audit in this screen, there is a little 3-bar icon with a circle on it.
Yeah. So basically this is your cache of like if for some reason you're at a facility and you're counting, you're not hooked up, all this information is all here. That hasn't synced.
Gotcha.
If you for some reason come into the offline history and it's blank, that means everything that you've done has synced to me.
Okay. So if it's in the if you see information in here in the offline, you need to connect this to Wi-Fi and allow it to synchronize.
Yeah.
And if you did that, would you push this, like, what's this little 3-bar?
It should automatically sync.
Oh, it'll automatically do that.
It would. You'll see across the blue ribbon, it'll say transmitting data.
Okay.
So you'll know it's working. And I always say it's a good habit to try to sync after each facility.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just me being.
And these don't have SIM cards in them or anything, so you need to be on Wi-Fi, right? It's not like a 3G network or anything. Yeah. So, okay, so that's good to know. So, and all right, so that's set-based audit.
Yep. And then the other modules are self-explanatory. We have sterile,
Yeah, we have a sterile, loose inventory audit sterile, and a loose inventory audit non-sterile. So if you had, this is mainly for those doing a bunch of office inventory, extra backstocks, or maybe you might have loose inventory at a facility that they're just kind of holding it as backstock. And if you did, so that's why these other two categories exist, right?
Yes. So if you're counting sterile inventory, you would scan the the batch number, not the part number.
Right, right. Yeah, always go with the batch number when scanning, and
when scanning sterile.
When scanning sterile, and that's when those are. I think that's usually the smaller of the two lot codes. Is that right?
Smaller.
The
barcodes.
Two barcodes. Yes.
Yes.
So, and you can also do a manual entry on that as well if need be. Okay. And how do you do a scan?
You do. So loose inventory sterile.
You
so you would hit
the barcode.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to put in location Mosher. That's what happened. It auto corrected.
I know. I wish it would.
Keeps auto correcting Mosher to kosher.
Kosher.
We're kosher. The other one it auto corrected from Mosher to mother. So
kosher mother.
Mosher. All right, Mosher sterile.
A little trick also is like a phone, you can also do a copy. So if you are at a facility and you're counting 20 sets, I suggest you do a copy of the location name so that every set you can just paste to the next.
Okay.
Just a little trick.
All right. So for search, so you just click there's a little barcode icon right next to the search bar, and if you touch on that, especially this is in the non-set based scanning.
I'm gonna get a sterile.
Yeah, go ahead. So that just opens up this barcode window here, and then we can take this inventory, and I imagine there's these two large buttons on the side that you can use to scan, and you would scan the smaller of the two, which is the batch or lot number, and so how do I know that it's scanning? Do I have to press and hold?
You'll see a red light.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
There it goes. I didn't press it hard enough. All right. So was that first press kind of turning it on?
Possibly.
Okay, so that's in.
Is it in?
Pretty quick.
Okay. So little tidbits about scanning sterile. One, we now have the feature that if this sterile product is going to be expiring within 90 days, it'll pop up and say, this is going to be expiring in 90 days.
Okay.
It'll still let you count it,
right? But
it's more of a, hey, heads up.
Yeah, so, that's great, because that's one of the things we always want to do when we're scanning inventory is we want to make sure that the any expired inventory you're coming across, now's the time to catch it, and then you can pull it right then and there. And then give me a call and or shoot me an email, and we'll reorder you the restock.
Yeah.
So
it's 90 days out.
Once we've done that, to scan again, you got to hit the barcode again.
I think it should just.
So
I think you can just.
I can just hit the button on the screen too.
Sometimes it works. Yes.
Is it better?
I guess it's just user preference. I feel like I'm more comfortable.
Okay.
Just doing this, but.
So can I do it without? Do I have to?
I think you can just do it.
Okay. Cancel. Yep, I did hit that.
You should show them that.
So if you hit the top one, you don't have to go into that barcode thing. You can just scan, but if you hit the wrong thing, it's going to give you an error.
Yeah. So if you get an error message like that, I would just troubleshoot, because it's most likely that you scan the part number instead of the lot number.
So yeah, as I'm scanning, it's just adding more lines in on that. So it's not going to warn and not going to tell you that you've scanned it already twice.
Correct.
It'll just keep scanning.
Yes.
So, but that's cool that you don't have to hit that barcode thing every time. Okay.
Yes. And sometimes you'll also get things that I've run into is if someone mistakenly starts counting owned inventory,
Oh yeah.
it might say batches not in your inventory.
Okay.
So you can either still scan it and let it go through, and I will see like a soft error message on my part, or you can cancel it out and stop and double check. You know,
That's great for something to alert us that we are getting owned
Possibly.
versus,
Yeah.
you know.
and it doesn't always work because you can have consignment inventory
Yeah.
of the same lot as an owned.
Right.
But
if you were to go through a whole set and every one you're scanning is giving you that alert, that might be a red flag.
yeah. And if you're not sure, you can take pictures of it too.
Right, right.
You know.
I mean, but at the end of the day, though, I mean, if you're certain that it's ours and you get a lot of errors in that own inventory, scan it anyways, and then we'll adjust it on the back end. So, okay.
Mhm.
And then once you're done, you hit post, and then do you want to post this record, and you post at the bottom, and then you hit yes, and they're in the offline. Connect this to Wi-Fi, and all the stuff will upload.
Yeah.
Great.
Let's see. The other like little tidbit thing I would say is especially if you're counting like a set, I would try to finish the set before moving on to something else. Like if you get a phone call, I would try to just finish the set first, because I guess maybe it kind of times out, and if you don't hit the yes, I want to post it, you can't go back and say this is I left off here. You know, after a certain time, it'll just.
So if I guess that's a great question. If you got halfway through a set and an emergency came up, are you gonna have to rescan that whole set, or just kind of relog that set as part 2, and then
if you know exactly where you left off, like if you know, you can do that. Post what you have and then come back to the set.
Right.
And if you label it exactly the same way, when I pull it up, basically I pull out an Excel spreadsheet, so it'll all group as the same thing anyway.
Okay. Great. So then, there's no real way to go back and edit a count that's already been scanned, right?
No.
Because once you've scanned it, and especially if you're connected to Wi-Fi, that's just kind of going.
It's coming to me.
To Michelle. So try to make sure you allot the time you can. We all understand emergencies come up, so try to mark off or at least track where you left off, and then get back to it.
Yeah.
So is there any other things that we need to know about this? We covered set-based audit. We covered loose inventory, sterile, and non-sterile would be just the same thing, using the book, right?
Yes.
And so you can plow through your non-sterile inventory by using the book. Once you get like to a set of hexalobe screws, you can
only if their backstock is opened out of the bag.
Yeah.
If it's in the bag, you
can just scan the bags. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So can you scan for non-steriles? Can you scan a barcode and log a quantity to it?
Yeah. So if we go to the non-sterile.
Okay. And I'll just scan one of these. So here I have a quantity. It immediately pops up with asking for a quantity and the numbers. So then you can punch in your quantity and hit next, right?
Correct.
And then, so we'll do 5, and then boom, we're on to the next one.
You want to do another one after that.
And then we'll do 8 of those, and next. So now it's logged in. And the great thing is you can just hit the scanner, and it's going to fire off and scan that. So you don't have to be physically telling it to scan, which is nice. This is a huge upgrade from the first iPhone scanner that I got a chance to test. What was that, 3 years ago?
It was more than 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a long time ago.
Because I've been with Acumed for 3 years, so it was definitely before
that was a long time ago. All right, well, this is great, and I feel it's going to make inventory auditing much more smoother.
Yeah.
And it's very intuitive. So,
yeah.
All right. Any other things that we need to cover or go through?
So each packet will have kind of a user guide of everything we went through, so you can always refer back to that. I usually put it in here.
So this user guide, if you don't want to spend the 20 to 30 minutes watching this very fun and informative video that we're going to post on our drive, You can go through this and it'll answer all those questions. But if you want the nuances and all the little things about us, then you want to watch this video. And we thank you if you've made it this far.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Is there anything else we need to
I
cover?
can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, this has been great and very informative, and I'm jazzed about these phones, these scanners. I did notice we had a little bit of an issue earlier today where this was plugged in and it wasn't scanning the phone, and I have a feeling that this charging the phone. Yeah, sorry. So this was plugged in, but the phone wasn't charging, and I think it just got shifted out, and so. You know, if this gets jostled too much, just try to push that back in. There are screws in the back that's keeping it from opening, so that's something to note. But if you have any questions, let us know and we'll help you out and get you through it. I think that's it for us for this scanning tutorial. Thank you for joining us, and
thank you. Happy counting.
Yeah, thank you.